Homeless people are homeless for various reasons. Some people lose their apartments, some people got problems, some people are sick. You know, some people are mentally sick and they take medication, they don't take their medication, so they might lose their apartment. There's many reasons as why a person is homeless. Some people are just lazy, some people have a responsibility. You know, they don't want to deal with responsibility. There's many reasons as to why a person is homeless in New York.
So to start at the beginning, for example, we can talk about the case of Jose, who slept in that spot. So he got referred here by his friend, whose name was also Jose. They both worked in Times Square. They're kind of costume mascots. The other Jose was Batman, and this Jose was Elmo. So they got to know each other, and the other Jose got to a financial situation that was good enough that he was ready to patch up his family that he was estranged from and rent an apartment with them. So he got reunited with his wife and children, and they moved out into an apartment together. So Billy actually put some already together. He's still in his Batman suit.
What? Watch, let me show you how it is.
Wow. Nice muscles.
I'm from Cuba.
Why did you come to New York?
I've been in different states of the United States, and this is the best. This is the top, the everything, you know what I mean? Who don't make it in here, he won't make it in nowhere. You know what I mean? It's a lot of opportunity here in New York. I don't even know. I just get out right now from work and everything was closed.
Yep.
So thank you very much, Amy. I really appreciate it for this food. Thank you. Okay.
Open the door now.
When you're young, you have a lot of energy, and I had a big car, and I went around painting beggars in the street, and I went to the Bowery, and I painted bums. Oh, sorry. I'm not that political. I'm not that. You know, to me, it's more about aesthetics. You know, if I paint black people, it's not because I love them or don't love them. I find them beautiful. I find them easy to paint.
It's political, man. You know what I mean? The city is so corrupted by, you know, the mayor. It's like the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, man. You know what I mean? It's like corruption, you know?
How do you fall so far down?
It's a long story. Family problems, unemployment, you know, and appendectomy. Lost my appendix.
Can you tell, please, where you and Ricky usually live?
Well, you live on the street, you know. Sometimes I stay on the train station. Sometimes I live in the train station when it get cold, you know. But see, they got a lot of housing for homeless people, but the government is not really funding it, you know. And then a lot of the shelters that they be having, people rather stay on the street because people be getting raped in them shelters. They get robbed. You got to sleep with one eye open and one eye closed. I was in the shelter one time, and a guy like right next to me, they trying to rape him. So I jumped in there, you know, stopped it. You know, a lot of them shelters is no good. That's why you see a lot of homeless people on the street. They feel safer out here. And it's easier, you know, to make a few dollars out here and pay somebody to let you stay a night or two. That way you know you're safe. I sleep out here by myself, you know, because I'm in the area right here, and it's not that much violence around here, you know. You only got one life. If something's gonna happen, it's gonna happen anyway. And I just pray to the Lord it don't. I just keep my head up, and every day, long as I wake up, I got another shot.
Okay, so those can start with the pieces that have a final piece of turkey on top.
Yeah.
Can have a piece of bread.
When I grew up here in New York in the 50s and 60s, for instance, there were 3 soup kitchens in New York, 2 down the Bowery and 1 in Brooklyn. Today there are 1,200 and over 800 pantries and other emergency food programs. That's how the need has grown. When they first started this soup kitchen in 1981 or 2 or 3, depending on who you ask, it was an epidemic of homelessness. In the 80s, you couldn't walk down this street without 4 people each block asking you for something. Homelessness was very visible. Today, 30 some odd years later, there are more homeless people in New York than there were then, by almost double. And yet, you don't see them as much. Because what the result of the laws and the result of the regulation is to hide homelessness, not to fix it, not to cure it, but to hide it. That's what the result of safe cities, broken windows, policies, all that stuff, that's what the result of that is, to hide homelessness and to make it a crime.
Like I told you, never would I try to minimize
I came home from jail. They said they sent me to a program, or quarter house, they call it. I go in, I look around, they put me in a room, smaller than the jail cell. 6 individuals were sleeping in that cell. Sleeping in that room, in the bunk bed. I went to the bathroom. There was a syringe and blood on the thing. I turned around and walked on out.
So, homeless people here in New York City, right? Let's come December. It was very, 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 very cold outside. It's snowing. What do homeless people do if they don't have any place to go?
I've been on the bench up there on 111th. I go down in the subway. I get locked up in the subway. Hate to get shelters because I got jumped in the shelter.
What about jail?
I've been in jail.
Does anybody get locked up on purpose?
Yeah. Yes, they do. Yes,
Why?
they do.
Why do they get locked up on purpose?
Shelter.
Shelter and food.
Yeah.
Coming from the
Right now, ironically, I'm worth more to the city of New York being homeless than a person that's working.
I got you, because they lock you up, they make money.
They lock you up.
They make money.
3 days in jail. 3 days in jail. They get paid for 7.
Got you. I understand.
Okay.
So so you make the city more money than
Thank you.
because you get locked up frequently.
Actually, in defense of America, if you have an address, you can get supplemental security income or you can get welfare. But welfare, they make you work. So they don't like that. They give you a broom and tell you to clean this. If you're supposedly an able-bodied man, they will give you welfare, but they want you to work a few hours a day, do something. But if you're disabled, then you're entitled to supplemental security income, which is about like $800 a month, plus food stamps, plus Medicaid, but you have to have an address in order to receive a check. It doesn't have to be your own lease, but you can say I'm living with somebody or I'm living with a friend, or how do you get an address if you're homeless?
Thank you, Mission. Thank you. Thank you. They did a portrait of me yesterday when I came out of it. Great some cake. That's some cake pot. Some cake and cornbread and cake.
This is his corner. This is his spot. And everyone who lives on that street knows him, and when they go to a nice restaurant and they have extra food to take out, I'll give it to him. If they're in a good mood, they give him a quarter or $1. Kevin, please look at me a little bit, because it's like really hard to do, you know?
Momentum. Everything is momentum.
Van Gogh, when he was in Arles, he painted the postman. The postman, he was like in costume. He had a blue suit and he had a hat and a beard. When you paint regular people, like someone like a lawyer or a doctor or someone on Madison Avenue, it's boring. And sometimes the homeless people, they look biblical. They look like they're out of the Bible. They have long beards and tragic eyes. And so this is what interests me, the basic aesthetics of the subjects.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I know the subject, you know. Caught his soul, but not his sense of humor. You can't catch that.
Everything's coming along.
Good. I'll talk to you, man.
How you like the semester?
Busy. Crazy.
And you better appreciate life because time is short. I already saw 3 people pass away in one week. Time is so short.
We had a deal that he would not look at my painting until it was finished. Then when it was finished, he wanted to take it away. He said, "That's my soul. You know, you're a Jew. You're going to get $1 million from the Guggenheim Museum." I mean, he was like educated in certain ways. He said, "I'm taking that painting. That's mine." So we had to fight a little bit. So I said, "Okay, I'll take you to Nathan's. We'll buy a beer. We'll eat a hot dog. We'll talk about it." So I bought him a hot dog and a beer, and I grabbed my painting and I ran into a taxi to get away. There's a great deal of mental illness, and some of it is quite serious. Some of it is schizophrenia, and those people are very, very hard to treat and really need medication in order to function in a somewhat normal way. And then the people just angry at the world, at the society, and don't want to have anything to do with any part of any system, and would rather find their own way of surviving.
Stalled talks, accusations traded, and endless demands made. This sums up the process being played out in Geneva. With virtual stalemate on the battlefield, outside proxies are left to make the hard decisions and compromises to alleviate and then to finally end this civil war. But do these outside powers have the political will?
I know CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News have taken some knocks lately, but the fact is I admire their commitment to cover all sides of a story, just in case one of them happens to be accurate.
That was funny, but it's closer to the truth than you might think. Because when politicians and the mainstream media work side by side, the joke is actually on you. At RT News, we have a different approach. LOL. Because the news of the world just is not this funny.
I'm not laughing, damn it, I'm not laughing!
You guys stick to the jokes, we'll handle the news.
Choose your language.
Good morning from me, Kevin Owen. Bienvenidos a nuestra edición semanal.
Choose the news that concerns you. Choose the opinions that invigorate your mind. Choose the stories that impact your life. Choose the access to your RT.
Here we go. Okay.
How do you operate the Olympic Games?
I'm going to rehearse quickly. Games, sports, short track, speed skating.
Is it as easy as they say it is?
I'm not an Olympic hockey player.
The Bang Motse is on the mission to find out.
Wait. I think he wants to eat my fur.
How many film crews to be in there sometimes, especially when Uncle Tom having his thing. finally in March of 2010, we got the apartment in the building we are now. So far, so good. No trains, no chairs, no taking naps in Central Park or Riverside, no taking naps in the library. It's come a long way, finally.
You know what they say, the closer to the bone, the sweeter the meat. The smaller the fruit, the better to eat.
I was born of Cuban descent. I was born in New York City, in America.
Yeah, they're tubers.
And I had a good education. But like everybody through misfortune, we all go through some slips and downs and falls. And I got caught up in being homeless. But through the aspect of me being homeless, I found Columbia Presbyterian Church. And I came and I started eating here. And as I started eating here, I started seeing the service that was being done here. In the midst of that, I found out that Chef Ernest Michael was giving a culinary class. And I joined the class. And through him, I gained my certificate to become a culinary chef. It's been hard, but I enjoy doing what I do, giving back, cooking, and giving service in the community, as you can see what we're doing. It's a wonderful feeling to know that you came from the bottom and slowly but surely raised yourself up. And through all of that, I was able to create a catering business. Well, because we don't have no oil in the boiler, in order to keep some moisture and some heat in the apartment, I put a pot of hot water, just so we don't freeze.
He's a thug. He's a cartoon character. Come on, Hannah. We have been ordered.
It's the only thing that when it comes to the baking, that's the last thing I could taste. Right now, my catering business is little. It's not major. It's not like I'm doing a major company or anything. So far, I've serviced from 100 to 1,000 people, depending on the event, depending on the party. So this is one of my second closest jobs or things that I actually do that I love. The first one was working with kids, and I worked with kids for 20 years, teaching chess and after-school program. Now I'm hoping that now I can go back into the after-school program, but now not teaching chess, but teaching culinary and teaching the next generation how to eat, how to cook, how to maintain a well-balanced meal and diet. Not only to eat, but to live correctly, so we don't have to be dependent on medication.
I came here for like a while, right? I invested in like a video store with my friend or whatever. Next thing you know, everything went downhill. Lost so much money.
It's amazing how fast it can go downhill.
Oh man.
And it's never just one thing. It's like one and then something else and something else.
Yeah, it's like...
It takes you years to get up there and then overnight you go down.
Exactly. It's already feeling kind of seriously. But like I said, I'm very optimistic. I mean, sometimes like you get on the system and then you say, nah, I can't do that. Because I mean, then it takes a lot out of you. Let me tell you, homeless people isn't all that bad. Most of them is crazy because society can't deal with society. Mostly society, it does more harm to people than good. Most of the time you be hearing that the media brainwashes you in thinking this, brainwashes you in doing that. They used to have a girl, and she was so smart, she had a bachelor's degree. She was black, and she was so intelligent, so people said, wait a minute, why is you out there on the street and you so intelligent? And she said, I can't deal with people. I can't deal with public. I can't deal with society. When you're out on the streets, you're in another mode. You think differently.
Yeah, you look good in the painting.
I didn't see it yet, but...
Next one, you're gonna do them nude, yeah?
The demographic of the soup kitchen when I first came in, at least a vast majority of the people that were there grew up poor. They were born in a poor household and they were poor then. That's a big difference between then and now, because the majority of the people in our soup kitchens today did not grow up poor. They grew up middle class or better. And something happened. Something from Enron to an illness with no health insurance to financial collapse to whatever. And very rarely was the trigger alcohol or drugs. Usually most of the people I've known got into their substance abuse problems after they became homeless.
Well, this is my daughter. She's like everything to me. You know, I love her so much, it's like she changed my whole life. It's like without her, you know, life ain't worth living. My daughter right now is 19. She's been in Mexico, she's been all over the place. My daughter, she models a lot, she does a lot of things, but her mother, she just don't want her around me too much. It's like memory. Like sometimes when you sleep in, no matter where you read in the street, whatever, you have those memories that keeps you going. When you have no memories, if you don't have no kind of like inclinations of anything that's beautiful or something that sticks out in your mind, life ain't worth it. You go deeper and deeper into a depression, stress. Next thing you know, you want to kill yourself. Sometimes you can get into a position you can't find your way out. You know, you really don't have anybody really to talk to. You know, like if I had somebody to talk to, I guess it would make me do, I guess it would help me a lot more.
Let's have a moment of grace for our meal, and I think I did this last year, a little song for us to learn that I think speaks for all of us. So here's how it goes. This is a great room to sing in, so sing nice and loud. God bless to us our bread. God bless to us our bread, and give bread to all those who are hungry, and give bread to all those who are hungry, and hunger for justice to those who are fed, and hunger for justice to those who are fed. God bless to us our bread. God bless to us our bread.
Regular soup kitchen serves about 150 or so. Our to-go soup kitchens have been serving about 100. Today, I imagine we'll serve a couple hundred, maybe more. It depends. As long as they keep coming, we'll keep serving. We've got food for them.
Here's another order. Pumpkin, blueberry, and sweet potato.
Good. I can't put it in no other words. It's good.
After a while, you know what? Everybody has a bottom. You know what I mean? Some people bottom is more. It take longer on some people to go to the bottom. But see, when
No, when you see yourself
bottom,
escalating and you see it escalating
I found
down,
out that
some people don't have that will to
come back
to
from
come
the
back,
bottom.
and
See,
they gotta go all the way.
Very, very, very. It's hard to make up your mind and say, I'm coming back.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this.
It's a mental.
To take that once you take that first step mentally, that's where it comes from, baby. Yeah. Mentally, once you take that first step mentally, you got to change everything. You got to be around people that feel that way. You got to be willing to go to the discipline, because that's what it takes. It takes a lot of discipline.
At the bottom line, is a mental thing when you choose to do something about yourself and about your life.
You have to make up your mind to do it and put yourself in a position and be around people that's of a like mind that you are.
That will elevate
that's going to help you. That's going to elevate you. You understand? You have to be willing to start from the very bottom that you reached and work your way
back up.
And then sometimes it took me, what, 5 years?
Yeah. All right. I show you. This is my clothes.
It was kind of a mayor's initiative at a certain point in New York history, where the mayor asked churches and other religious institutions to step up in helping solve the homeless epidemic. So a lot of faith institutions actually did step forward and provided the church bed program. For our program, guests arrive between 7:30 and 10:30 at night, and then they leave by 7 o'clock in the morning. It was set up that way mainly because that's the only way we could make it work with the volunteer staff here. It can really happen anywhere. You can have as little as just a one-bedroom apartment, and it can happen. We're able to offer our guests more space here because it is available. But, you know, people would appreciate anywhere they can sleep. So, 7 feet.
All I want to say about these people is that you don't ever quit. You don't have to be a quitter. Trying to make it, wherever you are. If you are in New York, great opportunity. We don't make it in here, don't make it in nowhere. So, don't ever give up. Life is only one. Build your own, build your place, build your house, build your company. Grow up. It's time to be a baby. Or you want to people baby see you, pay money for you, give you food, give you the food stand. You want people to take care of you? That's what you want? Get up.
It's a shame because in a country like the United States, supposed to be the richest country in the world, there shouldn't even be no homeless. And this city is supposed to be the richest city in the world. And you got more homeless. You got over 28,000 people. And shit like that, don't make no sense. But that's how it is.